Hello, everyone. I'm live just about 30 seconds early. I thought I'd get on. You may notice I sound a little stuffy this morning or right now, and that's because I am. Oop, wait, I gotta mute my computer. There we go. Yeah, I got a cold, but it's not bad. I worked a full day today and got lots of stuff done. I was so excited. And now it's time to play. So I'm going to turn you down. I should say, for those of you who are joining on and have not met me yet, my name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine. And every Friday, I try to come live to you. And if I'm not live, I'm recorded. But tonight I'm live, and so every Friday night at 7:30, you can catch me here on my YouTube channel. I'm going to turn you down now. And let's see here if we can get this situated. There, that's pretty good. We're going to make a pretty quick and easy project tonight. This is a magnetic bookmark. So I don't know if you can hear the click. All right, so anyway, this is our little friend. And he's a magnetic bookmark, as I said, and he uses 2 SALE-a-bration items. We are nearing the end of SALE-a-bration. Always a sad time. But in the SALE-a-bration catalog, which goes through February 28th, which is next Tuesday, for a $50 order or more, you can get these adorable owls. We're going to use him tonight, this one right here. And or you could choose the Thanks a Bunch, which is a carrot themed one. Also works nicely with the bunny set that's in the mini catalog. You can no longer get these dainty flowers. They are out of stock and not coming back because we're at the end of SALE-a-bration. They were extremely popular, and you can tell, you can see why. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. You could get the Day at the Farm Designer Series paper. This is also a great $50 item, this Sending Support stamp set, because you've got all sorts of nice, encouraging sentiments there that you can use. And then another $50 level one is these Favored Flowers, DSP. That is, those are some of my favorites. And then there's this In the Country set, not my particular style, although this Road or Path one I really like. I like that one, but the rest of it's not really my style. And then if you spend $100 or more, you can get this beautifully happy stamp set. My sister re-upped her Paper Pumpkin subscription, so she purchased a 6-month subscription so that Paper Pumpkin will get mailed to her doorstep every month. And that qualified her for a $100 level, and so she chose Beautifully Happy. This is a 2-step stamping set, which means that you can stamp the outline and then stamp this, the colored portions right over it, or you can just color it in manually. So you do have options with that one. And then there's this Dandy Designs Designer Series paper, and we're using that a little bit tonight, just a little bit though. And this is a huge pack of paper. It's 48 12 by 12 sheets. And then there's a host set. And I'm going to be doing a drawing at the very end of SALE-a-bration because I've got a few host sets stored up. So I'm going to be doing a drawing and giving some away next week. But anyway, let's get back to our little friend here. I'm going to bring in a scrap of basic white and bring in my Memento ink here. Now, if you're so inclined, I would really appreciate it if you would go ahead and either give me a thumbs up or a heart or some sort of reaction. Hopefully it's not an angry face. And share this as well to help other people find my channel. I'm going to bring in a couple of blends. So I've got the Crumb Cake blends, and blends come in a light and a dark version in one package. So I've got the Crumb Cake and I've got the Granny Apple Green. Then I'm going to be using the light soft suede and the Daffodil Delight. So it doesn't matter what order you start in. I'm just going to go ahead and color this guy's beak in Daffodil Delight. And I'll color his feet that way as well. We are going to have to fussy cut this guy, but he really isn't too bad. Now I'm going to start with my crumb cake, and I'm going to do this area around his face. And when you're coloring with the blends, you want to go very gently when using this brush tip, because it's not meant to be a marker, it's meant to be a brush. So use the side of it and just go very gently. We're going to add in some shading in just a little bit. Did you guys all have a good week? How much snow did everyone get? We got not very much at all here in Wells. I'm guessing somewhere between 2 and 3 inches. It was very disappointing. I know not all of you on here watching are disappointed with the amount of snow you got, but I am. I say it's February in Maine, there should be snow. And it looks as though we're going to be getting some snow next week. So there we go. Let's see, I'm going to bring in the dark one. I'm just going to add a little bit around right here. Now it looks like a very bold line, but it will soften up. I'm going to add a little bit more in here too. I guess I'll go all the way around. And we'll go a little bit around his tummy, give him a little pot belly maybe. Then we come back in with the light. I'm going to use the bullet tip this time, and I'm just going to use some circular motions to blend this in. And it takes a little bit for the markers to kind of settle down and the blending to happen. It's not instantaneous. It's pretty quick, but it's not instantaneous. So you just do that, and it just softens those edges and makes it look like there's some dimension there. All right. Then I'm going to come in with the soft suede, and I'm going to color the rest of his body. And he does color up pretty easily. Now, generally, I'd have my head right over the top of this guy so I could get a good picture of what I'm doing and where. But of course, then you wouldn't be able to see through my gray hair. So we'll just have to color uncomfortably far away. You can tell I'm concentrating as I'm talking as much as I normally do. And here we go. He's just so cute. So I got this idea from a fellow demonstrator named Deb Joy Smeak, and I just thought it was the cutest idea. She used different dyes that I'm using. I'm going to bring in the Granny Apple Green because I think green eyes are beautiful. I'm going to bring in the dark. No, I think I'm going to bring in the dark for areas of his tie, just in those folds. And then I'll bring in the light, just kind of blend it all out. And then I'll add some color to his eyes with the light as well. could make them really bright green if you wanted to, but I wanted them a little bit lighter. So look, isn't he so cute? Now, if I'd been thinking, I would have cut this guy out ahead of time. I would have stamped him and cut him out ahead of time, but I didn't. So we'll just show you in real time that it doesn't take a ton of time to fussy cut. Now, what are some tips when you're fussy cutting? Well, you have to decide whether or not you want to leave a little bit of a white layer or not. I choose to almost every time, because if you don't, then you have to definitely go right up to the lines. It's a little bit more precise if you do that. Takes a little bit more of a slow touch, I think. But also, when you're cutting, if you move the paper more than you move the scissors, you'll have better luck. So you may see my left hand kind of moving the paper around a lot more than my right hand is staying relatively still. You want to, when you're turning, it is also helpful if you're cutting while you're turning. So it's sort of like driving a car. You know how you probably taught, don't turn the wheel when it's stationary. It's much easier when it's going. So it's sort of the same way here. I'm driving my scissors, not my car. All right, so there I've got my little apple, Grady Apple Green, but it's an owl. All right, so now I need to create the bookmark part of this. Oh, Reba says there's no snow in Vestavia Hills, Alabama. It's nearly 70 degrees. Well, it will be 70 degrees here, Reba, in several months. So I can wait for it. I do like the snow. It's very pretty. I'm going to bring in a piece of thick basic white. Now this is, I think, something like it's a 3-inch strip, or almost 3 inches anyways, by I think 8 or something like that. Oh, I could get this out and measure it, couldn't I? By the way, Reba is the newest. This is 8 1/4, so I'm going to score it in half at 4 1/8. Reba is the newest member to my Stamperhood team. She had wanted to purchase the Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine, which is $125. And so I told her she should get the starter kit deal instead, because that would make it only $99 and she'd get $50 more to spend. So she did that. And all right, so here we go. What are we doing next? We are going to find some dies. I'm using the scalloped contour dies. And the one I'm using, I have put somewhere so I know where it was. And I heard earlier, I heard it kind of clatter. There we go. Here it is. Right now, you can see that this is the one I used, but do you see there's a gap here? But there's also a fold here. But if I unfold it, it's way longer than my die. Here's the trick. You're going to put your die right up here and leave a space. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in just a piece of washi tape to just kind of hold that on there. We'll bring in my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. Jeffrey said he got 5 inches and an inch of sleet last night. Yeah, it was kind of icy this morning here too, but we only got a couple inches. Let's see, so here we go. I'm just going to make sure this is kind of straight on there. And remember, because it's got it's a pretty square, I know it's a rectangle, but square meaning a 90-degree angle here. I'm going to put it right on an angle because it is healthier for my machine not to jar it so much. And if I go ahead and cut through, And you might want to go ahead and go backwards also, because you are cutting through two thicknesses of paper. Then when you take this off, I had something on my plate. When you take this off, come on. Gently removing my washi tape. All right, when you take this off, now you can see you have your bookmark. I'm gonna just take my little eraser. I think there was some adhesive on something. All right, so there we have that. Now, you'll also notice that I have this designer series paper down here. And I use these polka dots because, first of all, they went with the green, but I also think they mimic, you know, the circle and the eyes. So that's why I chose that particular one. So I happen to have another piece of this, and I'm going to cut another rectangle out of here. Now, some of you are probably saying, how come you didn't adhere it? And you don't have to put one on the back, but I did. How come you didn't adhere it and then run it through the machine? I was lucky enough to get two thicknesses of cardstock through with that die. I can't get any more. I did try it, but I knew I couldn't, and it proved I threw away my attempt, but it won't go through. It won't cut all layers. It will just cut really those two that I cut already. So we're going to run this one through. Let's go ahead and move this out of the way. Bring my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine back. So I've got my number 1 plate, my number 2, my number 3, my cardstock. Well, in this case, it's paper. I'm going to put it on an angle. And I'm paying attention to where my circles are only because I'm a little compulsive that way. We're going to run this through here. All right. Here we go. So now I'm going to just trim this down. And on this bookmark, I think I went a little high. And it looks like it's 1.5 inches. I'm going to cut about 1.25 inches. I'm just going to go to the 1.25 inch mark over here and cut. I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. And then, of course, I could use that for whatever I wanted to. Now, I said that this is a magnetic bookmark, and you can't tell because you can't see the magnets, but they're hidden underneath this designer series paper. Sure, you could have them in here, but let's hide them and make it look even better. I'm going to go get out my little magnets that I still have left over from doing the class with the sticky note holder and the notebooks, the covered notebooks. So I've got these magnets, and there's 2 of them. They all stick together, which is really nice. I don't lose all these little individual pieces. Now, obviously, if you have a pacemaker or something, you need to be careful around magnets. I don't think these particular ones are very strong, but I don't know what the deal is with pacemakers because I just know that magnets aren't good for them. And of course, these are little, so if you have pets, and little kids, you want to kind of keep them hidden. So that's why we're going to put them underneath here. I'm going to get my glue dots out. And I'm going to pick one up here. Oh, do I have 1 or 2? Yeah, I just have 1 there. Whoop, it didn't stick to the glue dot. I'm going to put that up a little bit. I'm not going to put it right down at the bottom. I am still going to have to glue something. Now, where does this one go on the back? Because I obviously want it to go right opposite it. So what I'm going to do, let me see if I can bring this into view a little bit. I'm going to kind of rub this. Did you hear it? It magically attached to itself. Cool, huh? I'm not going to I'm not going to stick this one down with a glue dot. I don't need to. It's kind of already stuck down, but I will glue, but watch. I mean, it just kind of snaps in place. I mean, honestly, that's kind of fun. Do you hear it? Whoa, it's so fun. I know, kind of a nerd. It's all right. I'm gonna put some glue, especially around the center here. We're just gonna line this right up. And I know it lines up because it was cut out with the same die. We're just going to smooth this around. Let the glue set up. Whoa, I slid it. I slid it. All right. All right, there we go. And then we're gonna put glue around this one as well. Just let that set up. I'm trying to line up my scallops on the edges. Just press it down till the glue holds. Now you don't want this little piece to be too skinny, because if it's too skinny, then the paper does have, it doesn't really want to bend right around that. So the magnet, so you want to give it enough room to have some play so you can kind of push down around it and just seal that in there. All right, now we're just going to bring in our little owl. And because this is a bookmark, let's keep it kind of flat. You could probably put a dimensional on it, it'd be fine. So here we have my little owl. He's all adhered down. Now I just need to stamp. So I'm going to get out the Granny Apple Green. And let's go ahead and on the outside, let's say we're going to give it to her friend. Or if you wanted to keep it, I hope that's straight. I wasn't really paying attention. That's pretty close. If you wanted to keep it, what's your friend? The book is your friend. If you like to read, I'm sure you feel that way. All right, my hands are all sticky, so I'm trying to open this. All right. Whoop. So here's in the center. You can just have a surprise little message. Hoot, hoot, you're so cute. And that is our bookmark. So if I just pretend this were a page of a paper, of a book, it goes on there and doesn't fall off. Well, it does when you wrinkle it, but let me see. Vertical. Not falling off. All right. If you did want a little bit of a stronger bond there, you could put it on the inside. That would make it a little bit stronger. But that's our bookmark for tonight. I want to remind people that for orders of $35 or more on my online store using the host code that is right here, between now and Sunday night at about 7, I will send you the 3 projects, the 3 fun folds that I did this past Tuesday, as well as the template. So for instance, this is what the template will look like. It gives you the measurements and some directions. And so you can just put this in a box, and when you're looking for something different to do rather than just a regular old plain card, pull out a fun fold and say, oh, I want to do that. And then you'll have the measurements right there. You can go right to town. But here are the fun folds we did this past Tuesday. This just kind of opens up and down. It's kind of just alternating flaps, really. And then there was this one. Recognize this paper? This is a designer series paper from the SALE-a-bration. This is the Favorite Flowers. And you can open that up. So when I was taking pictures, I used some glue dots to hold things down. And so there's some serious issues with this card. So the glue dot, when I tried to open it back up, tore it here. I colored in a little piece there, but there's a, boo-boo there. And here's a piece where I had to color in because it got ripped off there. But it's hard to photograph something that doesn't fold flat. So that's why I needed to make it fold flat. But there's that little fun card. I love that paper. And here was another one. And this is a double Z card because, well, if you look at it like this, you've got two Z's going on. So that's a double Z card. And this is not a boo-boo. That's part of the paper. And let's see, where's the other one? Oh, I guess that was 3, right? So I'll send you the supplies to make these 3 cards. And the patterns may be a little bit different depending on, I've had quite a few orders. So I'm going to be sending out quite a bit. So I won't have all the papers necessarily in these colors. But they will be beautiful. And you can use whatever sets that you have at home. And then I will send you the templates as well. So that's what I have. So your host code again is this one. It's in the comment section, or it's in the description. That's what I'm going for. The description of this video down below. So you can do that. One more reminder. We're coming up on the deadline to register for this class. This is my By the Bay home decor class. You're going to create this piece of decor, which uses the By the Bay suite. I will supply all that you see here. And then you'll also make 2 cards as well. So that is coming up on March 18th, but the deadline to register is March 1st, and I only have 2 seats left in that 10 a.m. to noon time slot. I can open up a second class from 1 to 3, but I have to have a minimum of 4 people to attend in order for that to happen. So if you want in for this, you don't want to delay. You want to get in as soon as possible. So I think, let me see if I can turn you around just so I can say goodbye. Let's see. Oop, here I am. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great weekend. Stamp this weekend. You might even get more opportunities to stamp on Tuesday with more snow. So, except for you, Reba, you'll have to come up with your own excuse. It won't be snow. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you later.